Back at Great American Ballpark, waiting for the Reds to take the field and get things underway here. Once again, quickly taking a look at the batting orders as the Reds now break out of their dugout. Alex Bregman will lead off at shortstop for Houston. Michael Brantley at right, that's second. Yordan Alvarez in left field hitting third. Yuli Gurriel will play third base batting fourth. Robinson Chirinos catches hitting number 5. Tyler White, first baseman, bats sixth. And then Tony Kemp at second. Jake Marisnick in center and Justin Verlander on the mound. That makes up the Houston batting order. For Cincinnati, Jesse Winker leads off tonight. He'll be in left. First baseman Joey Votto. Third baseman Eugenio Suarez. The middle third of the batting order will be Derek Dietrich at second. Nick Senzel in center. Yasiel Puig in right. And the bottom third will feature Tucker Barnhart catching. Jose Peraza at shortstop. And Anthony DeSclafani on the mound. He's won 3. He's lost 3, making his 14th start of the season tonight. And right now, averaging an even 5 innings per outing. 443 earned run average. He's allowed 14 home runs on the season. In fact, between these two pitchers, despite all the glowing numbers that Verlander will post almost without exception year in and year out, he's given up 17, but as you said, Jeff, he allowed 3. I would assume they were solo home runs in his start against the Brewers.
Yeah, there are not many home runs that you can count over the last couple years that have been multi-run home runs that Verlander has allowed. Now, doesn't pitch every day in this ballpark, so it could be a different story.
Well, we'll see. We're set to go. Ball around the Reds infield, and it will be Alex Bregman to lead things off. A very talented shortstop, actually playing now in the absence of Carlos Correa. And he's a .265 batter with an impressive power numbers of 19 home runs and 48 RBIs. Our first pitch presented by Belterra Park, Cincinnati on Kellogg Avenue off of I-275. So the right-handed batting Bregman and the right-hander on the mound, DeSclafani, the pitch. And it swung on and popped up on the plate and out of play. And this game is underway. 78 degrees, our game time temperature, and along with the accompanying humidity, although not an uncomfortable night here at the ballpark tonight. Not a breath of air blowing at the moment. Bregman jumping on pitch number 1 and fouling it back into the diamond seats down below. And now the 0-1 on the way, and he's way inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. The Astros, of course, are the cream of the crop in the American League's Western Division. 48 wins, 29 losses. Or 48 and 25, I should say. That pitch is taken up and in 2-1. They go into play tonight with an 8.5 game lead over second place Texas. And of course, we saw the Rangers over the weekend beating the Reds 2 out of 3, but the Reds won the Sunday afternoon windup. 3 balls and 1 strike. Michael Brantley on deck to be followed by Yordan Alvarez, and the Astros continue to play without 3 key components in the aforementioned Correa. Here's a 3-1, and that's a breaking ball for a strike. Outfielder George Springer, and of course Jose Altuve, who we understand will be in the lineup tomorrow. He was down on the field participating in pregame drills for this ball club, and he'll be in the lineup for the series windup tomorrow at 12:35. Payoff pitch and a jam shot to third, backhanded by Suarez, and the throw across is in time. 1 out. Here's Michael Brantley batting .309, the former Indian who's having an outstanding first year in a Houston uniform. Joey Votto and Derek Dietrich and Suarez and Peraza at first, second, third, and short. The Reds also expecting to get Jose Iglesias back possibly by game time tomorrow, finishing off his 3-day paternity leave. Here's a pitch to Brantley, a left-hand batter, and that's taken for a ball. And left, Jesse Winker with Nick Senzel and Yasiel Puig in center and right respectively, and Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. DeSclafani look in for the side, and now back with the 1-0 offering, and that one's a foul ball back to the screen. It's a ball to strike.
You look at the numbers for Michael Brantley over his career. They're not going to blow you away, but they're about as consistent as you could ask for of any hitter. He's going to hit you 25 home runs. He's going to hit a bunch of doubles, and he's going to hit 300 or right at it.
1 ball and 1 strike, and the kick and the pitch, and that's taken high for a ball. The Astros can only hope that Brantley can avoid injury,
there you go,
which he was unable to do numerous times while a member of the Cleveland Indians. As Jeff said, when he was healthy and playing, you could take it to the bank that he was going to be a solid contributor. Here's a line drive that's into right center for a base hit, and Puig is over to nonchalantly cut it off, more or less daring the runner to figure that he can take an extra base. He sure does. So Brantley's on with a 1-out single, and here's Yordan Alvarez. This young man was killing the ball at their AAA franchise in Round Rock, Texas, and when he was called up about a week ago, all he was doing was batting .343 off AAA pitching, with 23 home runs and 71 runs batted in. And not really one full half of the season gone. Here's a stretch in the pitch, and he swings and sends a drive back into left center field, and Winker gets back and reaches up on the warning track to make the catch of a very hard hit ball. 2 out in the inning. Alvarez lines out to deep left center, and now the third baseman Yuli Gurriel will stand in. 265 homers, 32 runs batted in. Our plate umpire tonight, by the way, is Adrian Johnson. Quinn Wolcott at first, Marvin Hudson, the crew chief, at second, and Roberto Ortiz, the umpire, at third. Here's a pause in the pitch, and it's a strike at the knees on the inner part of the plate.
You know, those numbers you mentioned for Alvarez, they're rather surprising, not just because they're outstanding, but because they pitched to him so many times. You put up those kind of numbers early, I'd just send you on down to first base. Let me get the next guy.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that is drilled into right center field, and that's by Puig and onto the wall. And here's a lead runner coming into third, but they'll have to throw up the stop sign. I'll tell you right now, Anthony DeSclafani not fooling anybody. They are tattooing his pitches. Thank goodness that Jesse Winker was able to haul down Alvarez's drive, and now Gurriel finds a gap, but respecting the arm of Puig, when he picked that ball up out in right center, they held up the lead runner Brantley. So they're at second and third. The Astros have yet to dent the plate, and the batter will be catcher Robinson Chirinos.
Puig broke flat on that ball instead of going back. If he had broke back, even though the ball was smoked, now don't take anything away from that, but if he breaks back towards the wall, he probably catches that ball.
DeSclafani will work from the stretch with second and third occupied, and pitches, and Chirinos looks at strike one. He's a catcher of the Astros, batting .241. 12 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Worst case scenario would be to give the Astros a crooked number here in the first inning before Justin Verlander ever throws a pitch. So that's the challenge right now confronting Anthony DeSclafani, with 2 out, Brantley at third and Gurriel at second. Chirinos bats him right-handed. He's down a strike. And he takes it up and in, started around and checked his swing in time. .244 batter with runners in scoring position. And now Chirinos settles back into the box. Checking the runners at second and third, and the break-even pitch. That's off the plate and low. 2-1. On deck, first baseman Tyler White. Bregman grounded to third. Brantley singled. Alvarez lined to deep left center, and Winker, and then scoots into third on the 2-out double by Gurriel. That's the way this first inning is gone, and that ball is fouled out of play. 2-2. Another good crowd on hand here tonight.
And it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Rather surprising to say the least. It was a good weekend attendance-wise against the Texas Rangers, and apparently a lot of folks interested in watching this Houston Ball Club play, given what they've done the last few years after being the doormat, or one of the doormats in the National League for so many years. And then, of course, 7 years ago, jumping leagues, going from the National League to the American League. And boy, they have been a power to be reckoned with over the last few years, including a World Series championship. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Came up and in, struck him out. Good job by DeSclafani as they scram two in scoring position. Reds are coming to bat off Justin Verlander on the Cincinnati Bell Reds radio network.
News, weather, traffic, and that McConnell magic. Mike McConnell tomorrow morning at 5 on 700 WLW.
Here we go, bottom of inning one after DeSclafani gets a big strikeout to leave runners at second and third. Now it's going to be Jesse Winker to get the first taste of this batting order against the right-hander Verlander, who winds and delivers and misses up and away, ball one. 9-2 on the year, making start number 16, a 2.41 ERA. 102 thirds innings, has struck out 125 and walked only 19. His 1-0 coming, and Winker fouls it back. A ball, a strike. I mean, there's nothing that this young man has not accomplished in his career that first began with the Detroit Tigers. He has been a 7-time All-Star. He was the American League MVP and the Cy Young winner all in the same year in 2011 as a Tiger. That pitch is in for a call strike. He was Rookie of the Year in 2006. And we talked periodically in the last few weeks about the definition of a true ace with an understanding. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and that swung on and hit high and deep down the right field line, but a foul ball. The understanding that just because you might be your team's #1 starter does not make you automatically an ace. Well, Justin Verlander is every bit of that, along with his former teammate from years past in Max Scherzer, now with the Washington Nationals. Corey Kluber, if he were healthy, would probably qualify without any question. Here's a pitch. Swung on, fly ball, hit back into left field, hit well. It is gone. Jesse Winker lights up. Justin Verlander with an opposite field home run to left, leading off the Reds' first inning. And the Reds, on the strength of number 12 for DeWink, takes a 1-0 lead.
I will say this. You can celebrate all you want after hitting a leadoff home run, and that's a great thing for the Reds. But that guy on the mound was eyeballing Winker from the time he came from the third base bag all the way into the dugout. Just keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay. Here's Joey Votto now. And the wind up and the pitch on the way, and Votto takes on the outside of strike. That home run traveled an estimated 348 feet. Reds home run powered by NOCO. NOCO Star Dead batteries. Well, the Reds have jumped out with a first inning leadoff home run. Now the pitch, and that's a call, strike two. And the Winker home run delivered in the Reds' first run of the game. The first run delivered to you by Integrity Express Logistics. A grand slam for all of your freight plays. Visit IELFreight.com. Votto in a big 2 strikes and nothing hole as Verlander checks down and now comes back to the plate, and that is just a tad low in the opinion of plate umpire Adrian Johnson, and the body language of Verlander would indicate he thought he had him struck out. Next up will be Eugenio Suarez. The 1-2. That's a ball, 2-2.
Verlander's only walked 3 batters in the last 133 batters he's faced.
That's big time.
Now, he's given up some home runs, as he did here tonight. He's going to make you earn it.
2-2 the count on Votto. And a half-swing foul ball. This is the second time that Verlander has started against the Reds. The first time was way back on June the 9th in 2012 as a member of the Tigers. He had a no-decision outing in 6 innings, gave up a like number of hits, a couple of runs, striking out 9, walking 3 in a game that the Tigers won here at Great American Ballpark 3-2, but he didn't get the win. That one is popped in the air in left field. Coming on to play it is Alvarez and can't do it. That ball hit fair and took a left turn into the seats, and that will be a ground rule double.
Alvarez broke back as the ball went into the air, and then he had no chance to go get that ball.
So a home run by Winker, a double by Joey Votto, and here is Eugenio Suarez.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Indeed. 6 hits in his last 46 times at the plate. A brutal, elongated batting slump. The pitch to him, a swing and a miss. The inner defense for manager A.J. Hinch. At first, Tyler White. At second, Tony Kemp. At short, Alex Bregman. At third, Yuli Gurriel. In left field, Yordan Alvarez with Jake Maresnik in center and Michael Brantley in right. And the catcher is Robinson Chirinos. Strike 2 call. Suarez sitting on 15 home runs. He drove in a run last night, his 43rd RBI of the year, leading the ball club in that department. Verlander checks Votto and comes high and inside. And a ball and 2 strikes on the Reds' third baseman. One ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's a strikeout. Here's Derek Dietrich. We are hopeful tonight of visiting with a name out of the NASCAR world that, if you're a fan, certainly needs no introduction. Jeff Burton, an outstanding career as a NASCAR driver. He was NASCAR Cup Series Rookie of the Year in 1994, had 21 NASCAR Cup Series victories and 27 Xfinity Series wins throughout his racing career. Now serves as an analyst for NBC Sports Group's NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series racing coverage. In town to be honored tonight, and that should be breaking up very, very shortly over at the Boathouse close to the ballpark. The Speedway Children's Charities annual dinner tonight, and he is the featured figure, and will be stopping by the ballpark and give us a chance to visit with Jeff. And TV, as far as the second half of the NASCAR network coverage, begins for NBC on June the 30th when they are at the Chicagoland Speedway for the NASCAR race in the Windy City. 1 ball and 1 strike on a breaking ball hard in on left-handed batting Dietrich that he could not hold back on. 1-1 to count. Stuck on 17 home runs, and he's been stuck on it for quite a while. Last home run came last month, a night in which he hit 3 home runs in 1 game on the 28th of May. That ball bounced foul, and now Verlander jumps ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Reds on Radio and Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network welcome Reds on Radio affiliate ESPN Sports Radio 1300 from Lexington, Kentucky for tonight's game. For endless things to do all year long. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. Swinging at a foul ball on a breaking ball that Dietrich was just able to make enough contact on to hang around.
Slider curveball off and on, but all of those pitches are inside to Dietrich. The slider 88, 89, the curveball 80, 81, but he's putting them in the same spot.
231 batter back in the box. Getting behind him, Nick Senzel, watching very, very intently the repertoire of pitches being delivered by Verlander, first to Suarez and now to Dietrich. And here's a fly ball lifted deep down the right field line. That ball hit well. That ball's out of here. How about that? The drought is over for Derek Dietrich, taking Verlander over the wall and right in the area where the Reds bullpen is, his 18th home run, and the Reds now have a 3-0 lead.
Like Verlander tried to backdoor a breaking ball there, and it came right back over the heart of the plate. That runs right into the bat head.
So Verlander's propensity for giving up home runs has reared its ugly head here in the first inning tonight. First Winker, an opposite field bomb to left, and now Dietrich pulls him over the wall and right. And a fastball strike to the taking Nick Senzel. .266 average, 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in. He has been awfully good, and that pitch, a fastball up and in that he spins on and finds himself down 2 strikes. If you're listening tonight on your car or truck radio, please remember to buckle your safety belt. This message brought to you by the Ohio Department of Public Safety. If you're not buckled up, what's holding you back? And a breaking ball has Senzel swinging and missing. 2 outs in the inning, both via the strikeout. Right fielder Yasiel Puig. Checks in at 229. He's hitting 5 out of his last 6 games. In fact, in going 0 for 3 with a walk last night, had a 5-game hitting streak stopped. Verlander kicks and throws, and that one is popped up. Behind the plate, Chirinos spins off to his right, gets under it, makes a catch, inning over. Big-time start for the Reds. Homers by Jesse Winker and Derek Dietrich. Meaning at the end of 1, it's a Reds 3 and the Astronomicals nothing on the Cincinnati Bell Reds radio network. Spotted Anthony DeSclafani with 3 runs. And as we head to the second inning, it'll be first baseman and right-handed batter Tyler White to lead it off. And with us, a man whose reputation and name has reached iconic proportions based on his effort in that foot race along the warning track just a matter of a few days ago. Here's a pitch. That's a call. What did Bradley look at you like that for, Mark Sheldon?
I don't know. I deserve more respect for coming in second place in the Stash Dash.
A second place in a race of 2 people.
Hey, still second, right?
Correct.
You're never going to live that down.
Here's 1 ball and 1 strike on White. Have you recovered? You feel okay now? You got your self-respect back? That's the most important.
What?
Watch my lips. Have you got your self-respect back yet?
Yes.
Okay.
My self-respect is back. My hamstring's a little sore, but I'm plugging along.
Well, that's what it's all about, big boy.
Just try to keep going.
That's it. Strike call on the inside corner, a ball and 2 strikes. Now, as far as the Redlegs are concerned, Alex Wood pitched a simulated game today, earlier this afternoon. I was here early. I saw some of it. It looked to me from up here where we work nightly that he was throwing free and easy, and he wasn't holding anything back.
That is correct. He threw 21 pitches to Josh Van Meter, Kyle Farmer, and Phillip Ervin, and a couple, a little bit of hard contact on a couple of those, but nothing terrible. And he said, most importantly, of course, is that he felt great. He came in the clubhouse after he got done with his
grab ball up the middle, backhanded on the outfield grass, and the throw is in time. Nice play by Dietrich on a hard hit ball. And the Astros are doing nothing right now but hitting the ball hard, but at this point they have nothing to show for it.
So, yeah, Wood said he felt good. He threw all of his pitches. And now the next game is to wait and see how he feels tomorrow. And if all goes well, he'll be back out there Saturday in Milwaukee doing another one of these and then perhaps a rehab assignment.
So that's where things stand right now. I mean, he felt good about himself. I guess that's the most important thing.
And he's very anxious to get, I think he would like to cut out the Saturday session and get right to the rehab assignment, but I wouldn't expect that's going to happen. They're going to be pretty deliberate.
Do you have any idea? Do you offer up an opinion as to what they'll do when he comes to the active roster for the first time?
That's going to be a great question. Somebody's going to be leaving the rotation. I guess I would imagine either Tyler Mahle or the man pitching right now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. One of those two. And, of course, that all will be determined, I would imagine, as they both continue to try and pitch well enough to maintain their roster spot once Alex Wood is brought back, because there's no doubt he'll go right into the rotation.
As he should, yeah.
1-1 pitch to Tony Kemp, and he checks his swing. Last night we saw David Bell take the bull by the horns and go out and get Raisel Iglesias with 2 outs to go in favor of Michael Lorenzen. He came in, he got the 2 outs to secure the save. Very rarely today do you see a manager go get his closer. They will sink or swim with their closer because that's what the guy is paid to do. So based on what we've seen up to this point last night, it was totally out of character for David Bell, and you have to wonder whether there was a message behind what he did.
You do have to wonder that, and I'll tell you what, it took because a lot of managers can just go by the old book and say, hey, I put my best guy in.
That's right.
Didn't work.
Fly ball in the right center, and Puig will run it down. They're 2 out.
And what he did was he said he wasn't looking great. It was his first time pitching, I believe, in almost a week, 6 days. He didn't look good. He walked 2 guys, had a wild pitch, and David just saw, it was a lot to ask for to get 5 outs in that situation. He threw a lot of pitches, and he said, all right, going to get him and bring in Lorenzen. It almost backfired when the foul ball went inches foul. Could have been a fair ball and tied the game, but it all worked out. But, yeah, Iglesias, to his credit, whether he was told to say this or he was feeling it, he slapped a smile on his face after the game and said it was all about the team, and he was happy the team won, and he understood why he got pulled, and he'll be ready the next time.
He said all the right things. At the same time, he went straight to the clubhouse when he was taken out in the 9th inning.
That did not go unnoticed.
Okay, that's good for me. Fly ball deep right center. Senzel made the catch, and that ends the inning, and it was simply all too brief. This reminder, the Reds are partnering with NOCO, Fox 19, and the banks to offer the World Cup ticket package that includes a limited edition T-shirt and a ticket to an upcoming Reds game. Plus, fans can watch the U.S. women's national team in action at the Fox 19 Now World Cup viewing village parties at the banks. For details, visit Reds.com/themes. 3-0 ball game early. We're in the bottom of the second. Tucker Barnhart for openers takes a first pitch strike. Batting left-handed against right-hander Justin Verlander, who comes back with the 0-1 delivery. And that one is a ball, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Barnhart followed by Peraza, followed by DeSclafani. If you joined us late, you missed some long ball fireworks by the Reds in the first. Opening home run to left by Winker, and a later 2-run home run by Derek Dietrich. There's call strike 2.
And that's the best way to get to a veteran. You get him early before he settles in, because once he settles in, he can be awfully difficult. Those numbers don't come by accident.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch in the air on the infield, a mile high. And the third baseman makes a grab just off the edge of the infield grass. Gurriel makes a play to retire Barnhart and bring to the plate shortstop Jose Peraza with 1 out.
And with that, it is now time for our Cincinnati Bell trivia question of the game.
Indeed.
Text the word vote along with your answer of A, B, or C to 66128 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, a $25 Skyline Chili gift card, a $25 Dunkin' Donuts gift card, and a free haircut from Great Clips. All brought to you by Cincinnati Bell, connecting what matters.
Peraza fouls off pitch 1.
The Houston franchise, Marty Brennaman. began play in 1962, the year before I was born. It made its playoff appearance in 1980.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Your question: what year did the franchise win its first playoff series? Was it A, 1981, B, 1997, or C, 2004?
Here's a liner into left center field and caught by Alvarez. 1 out. Read the question again.
What year did the Houston franchise win its first playoff series? They made its first playoff appearance in 1980. But when did they win their first playoff series? 81, 97, or 2004?
Wow. Here's DeStefani, and it's a strike. The 3 years one more time.
A, 1981, B, 1997, C, 2004.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's a strike. I'm going to say 2004.
All right. Think about that, because you're probably going to need to. And when we get to the 8th, you can change it.
If I want to.
You'll probably want to.
Swing and a miss. Punch out, number 3 for Verlander. A very easy inning compared to inning number 1.
Top of the 3rd inning, Anthony DeSclafani back to the hill. Reds on top of Justin Verlander and the Astros early in this one. It is a 3-0 Reds lead. Couple of home runs right out of the chute for the Reds. Leadoff homer by Winker. Derek Dietrich with a 2-run shot as well. And this is against a pitcher that has thrown the ball awfully well against left-handed batters. So far here tonight, the Reds have gotten on the veteran Verlander early. And speaking of Justin Verlander, he will step to the plate for his first at-bat of this 2019 season against Anthony DeSclafani. DeSclafani, first pitch fastball, misses in off the plate, 1-0. When you come up in the American League, you don't get a whole lot of these opportunities, whether you can hit or not. And Verlander takes one right down Broadway. Strike 1. A ball and a strike. DeSclafani working with Tucker Barnhart. And this pitch popped up and fouled just above our heads. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And now DeSclafani back to the plate, and strike 3 called. A breaking ball right on the outside corner. 1 down. Now back through the order for the second time for DeSclafani. Alex Bregman will step to the plate. Bregman's batting average a bit down at .265, but he does have 19 home runs and 48 RBIs. And I would imagine once the Astros get George Springer back, as that pitch misses up and in, Bregman will move back down towards the middle of the order. Springer normally the leadoff batter for the Astros when he's healthy. Been out with a hamstring issue. Popped up and fouled down the left field line. That's going to be in the seats and out of play. Bregman way out in front of a 1-0 breaking ball. Short arms, quick bat for Alex Bregman. Holds that bat straight up and down, right elbow directly back towards the umpire, and he takes another breaking ball just off the outside corner, right at the top of the strike zone. 2 balls and a strike. Bregman playing shortstop with the injury to Carlos Correa. Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, and Bregman comes up empty. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Bregman, shortstop in college at LSU. Normally the Astros' third baseman. 2-ball, 2-strike count as DeSclafani turns it loose, and he misses inside with a fastball here, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. DeSclafani rocks back, and to the plate he comes, and it's popped up high into the air, shallow left field. Winker will have it, and there's 2 down. So now Michael Brantley will step to the plate. Singled sharply into right center field his first time up. I'm sure that the Astros are hoping that Michael Brantley can keep himself healthy. He's had some lower extremity issues when he was in an Indians uniform. And had he not had the injury issues for the Indians, he probably would still be in an Indians uniform. He can still swing the bat. He swings through a breaking ball to fall behind in the count to DeSclafani. The 0-1 pitch coming. And that's going to miss inside. Hard cutting fastball in off the plate. That'll leave in the count at a ball and a strike. 2 down in the inning. DeSclafani retired the side in order in the second, trying to do the same here in the third. Long look in by the Reds right-hander. Now the drop step and the pitch. And it's popped up into left field. And Winker's going to have this one. And indeed, DeSclafani has retired now 7 in a row. 3 up, 3 down here in the third. Reds come to the plate in the bottom of 3, leading 3-zip over the Astros.
Extra innings with Lance McAllister. Get it after the game on 700 WLW.
Jesse Winker to lead things off for the Reds. He led off the Reds' first inning with an opposite field home run. And he stands in for the second time here against the right-hander, Justin Verlander. Verlander retired the Reds in order in the second, but he faced 6 batters and gave up 3 runs in that first inning. And a first pitch fastball sinks off the outside corner, 1-0. Verlander, the turn, the pitch, and it's fouled straight back. A high fastball. And Winker just a bit underneath it. 1 ball and a strike. Astros straight up in the outfield. 3 infielders on the right field side of second. Yuli Gurriel all by his lonesome in between second and third base. And the 1-1 from Verlander. Breaking ball, he drops it right in there for strike 2. Over the top curveball. That one looked like it came out of the sky. Winker started. Hips entirely open and just stopped as the ball snaps right to the heart of the plate. Verlander back with a 1-2, and this is another breaking ball. Grounded to the first baseman, White. He'll flip on to a covering Verlander, and Winker is out, 1 down. So now Joey Votto will step to the plate. Michael Brantley is the game's 15th out, brought to you by Geico. Saving you money on car insurance has been Geico's home run for over 75 years. Get a quote today with a proud partner of Major League Baseball at Geico.com. Geico, so easy, a caveman can do it. Votto, a looping double down the third baseline in his first at-bat. Came around to score on the 2-run homer by Dietrich. And he takes the first pitch breaking ball off the outside corner, 1-0. Ball off the bat of Votto was hit right down the left field line, very high into the air. Hit about a foot fair and bounced right into the seats down the left field line. The 1-0 pitch. And a fastball upstairs. Votto will take that. And it's a 2-0 count. Verlander has not walked anybody through the first 10 batters of this ball game, but his control does not seem to be as pristine as he's normally used to. This ball crushed into right center field. It will be off the wall. Votto into second base, and that's going to be a 1-out double. So 2 doubles on the night for Joey Votto. 1 down the left field line, and that one into right center field. So he's aboard for Eugenio Suarez. Suarez, a strikeout victim the first time up. Appeared to be right on a breaking ball and just over the top of it. Actually ran out of bat as the ball broke away from him for the final strike. Now Verlander with a long look in to Chirinos. And now Suarez, tired of waiting, he steps out of the batter's box. Now he's back in, and Verlander will ask Robinson Chirinos to come to the mound and get on the same page. Votto standing at second base. And Verlander, he uses a different set of signs even without a runner at second. I think he is always concerned about someone picking up his signs from any place. Breaking ball, strike right on the outside corner. And probably even more especially concerned with a runner at second. If you're using a set of 3 or 4 signs with nobody on, then you've got to be concerned with a runner standing at second base. Now Verlander sets, looking right at Votto. The pitch to the plate, swing and a miss, strike 2. Back-to-back breaking balls, and Suarez quickly down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Wide open on the right side of the infield if Suarez does indeed decide to go that way. And he pops this one up. Foul territory, and it's going to land on top of the Reds dugout, out of play. That swing there by Suarez looked like he was trying to take the ball the other way, but it was a hanging breaking ball that time. Didn't quite have the same bite as the previous 2. Oh, 0-2 pitch again from Verlander. Swing and a miss on a slider down and away. 2 down. Well, that's the second time he has gotten Suarez via the strikeout. And they have come on all breaking balls. Here's Derek Dietrich. Dietrich caught one of those breaking balls and hit it right into the Reds bullpen. A 2-run home run back in the first. That's Dietrich's first home run in a while. Gives him 18 on the year. 39 RBIs. And another RBI opportunity here. First pitch curveball, and Verlander drops it right in the heart of the plate. Strike 1. Verlander back to the dish. Swing and a miss. Fastball riding way out of the strike zone. No ball, 2 strike count. Votto has the 1-out double. Reds trying to play a little bit of add-on baseball here in the 3rd inning, leading 3-0. Anything you can get off Verlander is a bonus at this point in time. And this one ripped and caught. Line drive towards right field, but Alex Bregman right there to make the catch. Dietrich hit it hard. Yordan Alvarez, a left-handed batter, set to lead things off here against DeSclafani Top of the fourth inning, 3-0 Reds. Alvarez lined out to Winker in left field his first time up. Takes a high fastball, 1-0. DeSclafani, the leg kick, the pitch, and he hits the outside corner with a fastball here, evening the count at a ball and a strike. Big, tall, left-handed batter takes that fastball as it cuts up and in right under the hands of Alvarez. DeSclafani with a long look into Barnhart. Now Barnhart sets inside and a late swing fouled to the left side off the bat of Alvarez. 2-2 count. This game was delayed about right around 25 minutes to begin with. The threat of rain, it never did rain, but it sure looked like it was coming. It's actually turned out to be quite a nice night thus far. That ball fouled to the left side, out of play. Alvarez hanging in there as DeSclafani prepares another 2-2 pitch. And here it is. And that's going to miss way outside. That was either a changeup or a curveball that just came out of the hand a bit early for DeSclafani. Now a full count. The pitch. Fly ball into center field. Senzel going back, and he's got it. One down. Seems like every ball that has gone up into the air, into the outfield, has a little more carry than any of the six outfielders look like they're playing it as it comes off the bat. Whether it be the Reds outfielders or the Astros. It's never a good sign if you're the pitcher. And a fastball, strike one, right on the inside corner here to Yuli Gurriel, who hit a double into the right center field gap in his first time up. And he hit a hanging breaking ball up and out over the plate and just tomahawked it the other way. DeSclafani turns it loose, and there's a breaking ball of the curveball variety, and he drops it right over the inside corner. That one didn't do a whole lot, but the speed of the pitch fooled Gurriel, and it did catch the inside part of the plate. Now the 0-2. And a tapper towards third. Charging Suarez. He's got to throw on a run. He can't get him. Suarez just could not get to the ball quick enough to get rid of it in time, and credit Gurriel with an infield single. Even if it was a momentary bobble, I'm not sure that Suarez gets Gurriel, even if he fields it clean and throws immediately. So an infield single, second hit of the night for Gurriel, and that'll bring Robinson Chirinos to the plate. DeSclafani bounces that one up there, a fastball down and away. 1 ball, no strike count. So an 0-2 infield single by Gurriel, and now DeSclafani will pick to first base. I would imagine that DeSclafani, after the Cubs ball game where they were just running all over the place, he's going to make sure he keeps these runners close down. And maybe that's coming from the Reds dugout. Maybe it's coming from Tucker Barnhart. But either way, a lot more variety in the motion of DeSclafani with a runner at first base. There's a cut fastball fouled off Tucker Barnhart. A ball and a strike here to Chirinos. Long pause by DeSclafani and back to the plate, and again fouled straight back. Fastball right at the top of the strike zone. Reds leading here early, 3-0. All the talk of Justin Verlander and how well he has pitched. The Reds jumped on him early. And now the Reds trying to make that stand up. They were able to keep a 3-run lead that they had in the 5th last night, even though things got a little hairy at the end of the ball game. 3-2 win is a 3-2 win. DeSclafani again, another pick. Trying to keep Gurriel close at first. The pitch to the plate. That's going to bounce up there. A nice stop by Barnhart on the breaking ball. 2-ball, 2-strike count to Chirinos. DeSclafani got him to chase a high fastball in his first at bat. That was the final out of the first inning. And now at a 2-2 count with Chirinos here the second time through the order. Sets at the belt, back to the plate. And he misses just off the outside corner. And not by much. Trying to get that fastball to come back to the outside edge. It stayed pretty true out there, and Chirinos did not chase it. I'll run the count full. We'll see if Gurriel is on the move with a 3-2 pitch here. There goes the runner, and a foul straight back. Cut fastball up and away, and Chirinos just did get a piece of it. There were not many hits early in the ball game last night. There were a lot of walks, but not a whole lot of hits. Here tonight, there are already 7 hits combined on the board. But DeSclafani so far has put a 0 up there, and he'll pick to first again to keep Gurriel close to the bag. DeSclafani back to the belt, sets momentarily, and to the plate. There goes the runner, and there will not be a pitch as time is called. May have been a late timeout called by home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. But DeSclafani trying to do everything he can to keep the break of Gurriel to a minimum. Another 3-2 pitch coming. Here it is. Grounded to third. Backhanded Suarez. He's going to go to second. Dietrich on to first. Double play. The Astros do not move Gurriel on that 3-2 pitch, and it cost them. Double play. Nice turn by the Reds.
He speaks, he listens, then he speaks more. Scott Sloan, tomorrow morning at 9 on 700 WLW.
Nick Senzel will lead things off for the Reds as we begin the bottom of the 4th inning. When Justin Verlander made his debut, that was back on July 4th of 2005, Nick Senzel was 10 years old. He had just turned 10 on June 29th. How about that? And now he faces a right-hander that's been around forever. Fouled straight back. Of course, that's a credit to the longevity of Justin Verlander. Pitch as long as he has, especially as a starting pitcher. Breaking ball, drops it right on the outside corner, and he's quickly ahead of the youngster Senzel. No balls and 2 strikes. Senzel, Puig, and Barnhart here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Senzel readies. Verlander swing and a miss on a breaking ball, down and away, and he'll get Senzel for the 2nd time. 1 down for Yasiel Puig. Tonight's Toyota Home Run Challenge contestant, well, that's you, Cheryl Donnerworth from Corinth, Kentucky. And if a home run hit by a Reds player during tonight's game hits the Toyota sign, that's out in right center field, located between the PNC Power Stacks. Well, Cheryl Donnerworth, you'll win a brand new 2019 Tundra. All courtesy of your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Puig, first pitch swinging, and he pops it high into the air. Very shallow center field. Maristic on. He'll make the catch. 2 down. So a strikeout of Senzel. A first pitch pop-up by Yasiel Puig. And that'll bring Tucker Barnhart to the plate with 2 down. After a long first inning for Verlander, he has settled down quite quickly. The only hit he's allowed was the double by Votto into the right center field gap through the 2nd, 3rd, and now here with 2 outs in the 4th. One-0 count to Barnhart, and he's going to take that fastball running well off the outside corner. 2-0. Peraza waits on deck if Barnhart can reach. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 95 right on the outside corner. And Barnhart comes up empty. Astros playing Barnhart to pull on the infield, and that's pretty much regular. And Barnhart tries to bunt down the 3rd base line, and he fouls it off over the 3rd base dugout. Strike 2. Fastball running up and away from the Reds catcher. Got the bat out there, just got underneath it a bit. Two ball, 2 strike count. Chirinos runs through the signs, and Verlander rocks back, turns it loose. Popped up, foul down the 3rd base line. It will land harmlessly on the warning track and bounce into the seats. Now, if you're playing a normal 3rd base position, that's a pretty easy catch. But right now, Yuli Gurriel, who is the Astros' 3rd baseman, is playing well over towards 2nd base. And Verlander will go back to work. Another 2-2 pitch here to Barnhart. Ground ball down the 1st base line. That's a fair ball into the corner, and the bat boy tries to catch it. And Barnhart will race around first into 2nd base, and I'm not sure if the ball boy down the right field line touched it or not. But he sure set up as if he was going to catch it. Barnhart thought the ball was foul as it came off the bat. A diving effort by the 1st baseman White, and no, the ball boy didn't touch it at all. He set up to catch it and then pulled the glove back at the last second. So a 2-out double for Tucker Barnhart. That's his 5th double of the year. That'll bring Jose Peraza to the plate. All smiles on the bat boy down the right field line. He was ready for it, and he pulled back right at the last second. That was a nice play by that young man. Or nice no play, I should say. Fastball strike right on the outside corner. that Barnhart hit had to go right over the outside part of the bag because the first baseman, Tyler White, just his entire body was in foul territory on the dive. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball down and away from Peraza. And Verlander quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Reds had the same type of opportunity in the third, unable to score with Suarez and Dietrich at the plate. Dietrich scalded the ball, but it was right at Alex Bregman, playing on the right side of second base. Fly ball, center field. Marisnik has it, inning over. So the Reds leading 3-0 through 4 innings of play. We head to the 5th. Marty Brennaman coming back to you, folks. Here
we go, top of the 5th inning. Reds still leading by a 3-0 score. Tyler White will lead the inning off against Anthony DeSclafani. And, well, we promised you former NASCAR racing star Jeff Burton, and we are seconds away from making good on that promise. Jeff, on behalf of us with the Reds organization, welcome to Cincinnati. I know you were the headliner at the Speedway Children's Charities event over at the Boathouse tonight, and we appreciate you coming by and spending a few minutes with us.
Great to be here. Beautiful ballpark. It's a lot of energy in here tonight. It's fun to be here.
This is a big time of the year for Mark Simmendinger and all his folks down at the Kentucky Speedway. And before we get into a discussion with you about your career and about what you're doing right now, the big weekend is July 11, 12, and 13. On the 11th, the NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series. Buckle up your truck 225. On the 12th, Friday, NASCAR Xfinity Series, Alsco 300. And then, of course, a big race on the 13th, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Quaker State 400, presented by Walmart. You are more than a little familiar with Simmendinger and his folks and that speedway.
Yeah, a great facility. Guys do a really good job out there. Continue to make changes to the track. A few years ago, they updated the track and made some changes to create better racing. And then in addition to that, with NASCAR's rule changes this year, I think you're going to see the best racing we've seen in Kentucky. The racing's been really good this year, and I think that'll roll right into that weekend.
Tyler White doubles down the left field line to begin the inning. For a man who's been around the sport as long as you have, you've maintained a connection, being a part of the fine coverage presented by NBC Sports Group's NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series racing coverage. You guys begin on June the 30th at Chicagoland Speedway.
That's right. Yep. We started Chicago. We pick up Fox covers the first part of the year. We cover the second. We cover through. We have 10 races, and then our playoffs start. So this is the time of year that teams are having to try to step up to make the playoffs, and it's a fun time of year because there's a lot of pressure on the teams and drivers. And we know the seats that we sit in, the more pressure it is for the athletes, the more fun it is to watch.
So how does this radio booth compare with the booth you guys at NBC use?
You guys have a great view. We don't get to keep our windows open because it would be too loud. But, that's what struck me sitting here is that, you get a real sense of the crowd. You get you feel the energy from the crowd. It's a great seat. Got the windows open. This is fun. This is a lot of fun.
You have been a big-time advocate of the sport after you hung them up as a driver. You had great success, 21 wins on the NASCAR circuit during your career. Nobody better to offer up an opinion on the general state of NASCAR here in 2019 than you.
Yeah, so the sport's in transition. The sport saw this incredible growth in the 90s and in the mid-2000s. It's this incredible growth. And we're in a little bit of a transition. The truth is we don't have quite as many people at the racetrack as we did then. Still have millions of people watching races on TV. The energy is starting to get built back. There were a lot of changes made that some fans didn't like, and then some changes have been made to get that back, put the racing back on the racetrack, put drivers in a situation where every lap matters. You get paid, points get paid now during the race, so that means that everything matters now. So the intensity level on the racetrack has picked up a tremendous amount, and like we just talked about with the energy here, that energy is starting to get into the NASCAR fans too. They're seeing the drivers have to work harder. They're seeing consequent bad moves make bad races, and great moves are rewarded. So we're seeing a real uptick now. We have an uptick in viewership this year. So things are headed in the right direction.
I hear so much in baseball about competitive balance. That is, teams, the majority of teams, this is the idealistic approach that creates incredible interest among fans, whether it be a big market team or a small market club like the Reds team is. Is it a concern as far as competitive balance is? I know it seems like every time NASCAR runs a race and Martin Truex doesn't win it, he's in the top 2 or 3 along with some other guys.
Yeah, so what I think what fans want to see, right? They want to see their team with a shot.
Right.
Exactly. So when Cincinnati is contending for a championship and contending for a pennant, there's probably more energy and more people here than when they're not. So the same happens in NASCAR. The difference being there's no home team.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So you in NASCAR you need all the teams to be able, not all the teams, but most of the teams to be able to be competitive. But that's on them. That's not on NASCAR. That's them having to find a way to do it. That's what competition is. So, much like, the Reds haven't gotten off to a very good start this year, it's not Major League Baseball to fix that problem. That's the ownership and the management of the Reds to fix that problem, and the coaches and the players themselves. And the same happens with NASCAR is that, if you're not running as well as you need to, you have the same opportunities, the same rules for everybody. You got to find a way to make it happen. In a perfect world, there's a 6-way race for the pennant.
Right.
But in reality, you're probably going to have 2 or 3 teams that have a real shot, and the same thing happens in NASCAR. I think the big difference, though, is that there's so many games in baseball, where in racing there's 26 regular season games, races, and then 10 playoff games.
Correct.
So if you get off to a slow start, you can get yourself in a situation where you can't recover. So the pressure starts as soon as the year starts.
Well, in baseball, we have minor leagues that we can bring up.
Yeah.
Guys that can come to play. And, you start in Little League, you play high school, college. How do you start racing?
So it's the same way. I mean, you start, I started racing when I was 7 years old, racing go-karts.
Really?
My son's a race car driver. He'll actually be running in the Buckle Your Truck race there in the Trucker Series. He started racing when he was 5. And you progress or you don't, right? So if you can win races, racing go-karts, quarter midgets, motocross, whatever as a child, and you can be successful, then you move up to the next rank. And then if you can be successful, you move up into the next rank. So what is really interesting about NASCAR is that once you get to a certain point, there's 3 races at Kentucky on race weekend. So you have the Xfinity Series, you have the Truck Series that race on Thursday night, right? That's a step in trying to get to Cup. There's Xfinity Series on Friday night, which is the next step to try to get the Cup. And then there's a Cup Series race on Saturday. So on any given weekend, you can watch the guys that are coming up. Like, you can get to learn the future heroes of the sport by watching them run the Truck Series or the Xfinity Series. It's very unique to sports. In most sports, if you want to watch the next Major League guys or the NBA guys, you don't get to see them on the same weekend. And in racing, you can actually see the young guys trying to work themselves up. It's really interesting.
We're talking with Jeff Burton from NASCAR, previously with NASCAR, now with NBC's coverage of the second half of the NASCAR season. Right now, Anthony DeSclafani in trouble, has given up a leadoff double to Tyler White and turns right around and walks Tony Kemp. Garrick Johnson, the Reds pitching coach, went to the mound. He's heading back to the dugout, and the batter will be center fielder Jake Maresnick with 2 men on and nobody out. You mentioned your son. I'm sure you're extremely proud of him, but you also have a daughter, Paige, who is a competitive equestrian. So you've got quite a bit of good sports blood in your family.
We have the 2 most expensive hobbies in the world. Race cars and horses. But, we're blessed. I'm blessed to have good children that care about something, work hard, have a good work ethic. Pretty lucky man.
Looking toward the beginning of your season, as you mentioned, you and NBC and Fox shares the NASCAR schedule. How much prep work do you guys do? I mean, you've been around the sport all your life, but I guess with the continuing coming of new blood season after season,
exactly.
You have to stay on top of it.
So, for me, I think prep work for me is obviously watching all the races, going to races, and then just talking to the competitors, making sure I know, I know Kyle Busch, I know Kevin Harvick, I know Jimmy Johnson. I know those guys very well. I competed against those guys, but I didn't compete against Chase Elliott. I didn't compete against Ryan Blaney. I didn't compete against those younger guys with Kyle Larson. So I need to make sure that I know them and I get to know them and understand who they are as people. I think for me to do my job, I know racing. But knowing the people is important, and knowing what makes those people tick, I think that's really important. So just trying to spend some time with those guys and get to know them a little bit. I think that's important.
Are there personalities in the sport today like there were way back in the day, quote unquote?
I think we have this debate about society in general, right? So, yeah, I mean, if you sit down and have a conversation with Kevin Harvick or Kyle Busch or, Joey Logano, Clint Boyer is a riot. There's a ton of personality in the sport today. I think the difference in today and years gone by is that members of the media had one-on-one relationships, right, with drivers and athletes. 30 years ago, it was much more of a one-on-one relationship. So the people in the media knew the personalities. And I don't think that the media has that same relationship with the athletes today. So when we compare personalities from the day to yesterday, I think there's always been personalities in every sport, and I think there will always be personalities in every sport. I think people are more afraid today to say something wrong. Right. So I think in many ways, people are afraid to let their personalities come out.
Ground ball off the bat of the pitcher to short, to second, to first. That's a double play. And that ends the inning. The Reds get out of trouble, and they maintain their lead. Jeff, we want to thank you.
To be clear, I thought I was going to be bad luck here for just a minute.
We go to the bottom of the fifth inning where Anthony DeSclafani will be first up against Justin Verlander. Manager A.J. Hinch allowed him to swing away with runners at first and second, and it backfired on him because Verlander promptly hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and the Reds maintained their 3-run lead going to their half of inning number 5. Again, our thanks to Jeff Burton. Kind of fascinating to talk to him about his former profession and now being a part of the crew that televises the second half of the year for NBC Sports. And again, for you NASCAR fans, I don't think you probably need me to remind you of the dates at the Kentucky Speedway. The big event, of course, is July 13th, the Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart. But on July the 11th, on Thursday night, it'll be the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series. Buckle up your truck 225, an event that Jeff Burton's son will be participating in. And then on Friday, the NASCAR Xfinity Series Alsco 300. So it's a big, big weekend. And I can attest to that firsthand because it was my privilege last year to drive the pace car, and it was a real kick, believe me. First pitch to DeSclafani is in for a call strike.
5 and 7 when they start racing. That's really cool.
I know it is. No balls in one strike. The wind up in the pitch by Verlander and a swing and a miss. And it was really interesting last year. We were talking about it before Jeff came and sat in with us in the top of the fifth. And I'd gone down to the Speedway. I'd driven the track in a modified version, I think, of the pace car. Here's a ground ball up the middle. The shortstop makes a pickup. Bregman to throw DeSclafani out. And then the day I have to drive, the moment of truth comes, and I climb in, and there's a big old crusty, heavy-set, good old boy from Hickory, North Carolina, who travels around for the express purpose of sitting and riding shotgun for whoever's driving a pace car. And I got in the car, and I'm older than he is. He said, "You okay, son?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He said, "Now let me tell you the way this game is played." Nobody said a word to me about this.
Up until this point.
He said, "Now, when we tell you to go, you pull out." And he said, you've learned a little bit about the track. I want you to accelerate to 66 miles an hour. And when you get to 66, you put the, what do you call it? The speed. I'm drawing a blank.
Cruise control?
Yeah, cruise control. He said, "I want you to hit that button when it gets precisely at 66 miles an hour." He said, "Now, that conceivably can take you off the hook." But in the event that you lose sight of that and you don't hit the speed control, you can't go a mile above 66. You can't go a mile less than 66.
Oh,
he says all those good old boys behind you are setting all their computers inside
based
their
on
cars.
66?
And he said, you will. That's exactly right. He said they're going to set their stuff inside that car.
I didn't know that.
I said, now you're talking about a little bit of pressure here now. He said, you'll be fine, son. Just do what I tell you, and you're going to be good. And I got around with no problem, but that cruise control was almighty. It was really something else, I'll tell you.
That would have made my foot a little nervous.
Believe me. And then Martin Truex is going back and forth, side to side behind me. I looked in the rearview mirror. I said, what the heck's going on back there? He said, you just keep that thing at 66 because
right.
if you drop under it, he's going to be hitting your bumper. He is ready to rock and roll. Is the way he put it, just like everybody else is. It was an experience I'll never forget. 1-2 to count on Winker with one out here in the bottom of the fifth. DeSclafani has bounced to shortstop. Winker got the scoring underway, the first batter up in the Reds' first inning, and he had a home run to left, his 12th of the year. Now the wind and the pitch on the way, and that one is taken low and inside a ball. Fans, it's Bowtie Tuesday with Mike's Car Wash. If the Reds win tonight, you'll save $5 off an Ultimate Wash tomorrow at all Mike's Car Wash locations. And Mike's will donate $1 for each car wash to the Reds Community Fund. All predicated on a Reds win on this Tuesday night. A 2-2 count. Winker waits, and Verlander pitches. And a foul is out of play.
Now, I would think to the casual NASCAR watcher that, well, at least, well, for me, I would have had no idea what that 66 mile an hour actually meant to the driver.
I had no idea until I got in the car.
I figured you just get to floor it.
That's it.
Let me see how fast I can go.
That good old boy dropped it on me, and all of a sudden things tightened up a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? 3-2 the count.
Got you. I know all about that.
3-2, but you'd be big on that track. As heavy-footed as you are, you'd be good to go. Winker with a good at-bat right here in the bottom of the fifth. Verlander has not walked a batter tonight. He throws a 3-2, and that's a bouncing ball to the right side of the infield. There's a pickup, and the throw on to first. Second baseman Tony Kemp to Tyler White, and the two-out batter will be Joey Votto, and all he's done is face Verlander twice tonight, and both times up he has doubled. After the home run by Winker in the first, Votto dropped a double along the left field line that Jordan Alvarez could not quite get to, and then he ripped a two-base hit into the gap in right center back in the third. Verlander looked down for the sign from Chirinos, stepped off, and gets back on.
Votto never moved his feet. Of course, if I had $2, I wouldn't move mine either.
Bingo. Pitch. And a swing and a miss.
I think I don't think I know that there is a certain bit of testosterone when you step into that batter's box against a guy like Verlander. Everybody's talking about Verlander. Well, if you're Joey Votto, you've got to be thinking to yourself, hey, I'm Joey Votto.
That's correct. Check swing and strike two call.
Because if you don't think that way, you're going to be a strikeout victim.
He's in a hole right now at 0-2 with two out. Long look in by Verlander this time, and Votto just patiently stays in that left-handed batter's box. That one bounces up there, a ball. One final note about the race weekend at Kentucky Speedway, the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Available tickets at 859-578-2300, 859-578-2300, or KentuckySpeedway.com, and the Kentucky Speedway corporate office, ticket office at 1 Speedway Drive out in Sparta. Swing and a foul ball, just tipped it foul. And thanks to Mark Simmendinger, to folks from the media relations department, Tim Bray and Ashley Shirley, and a very enlightening conversation with Jeff Burton.
It's always interesting to see how another professional athlete goes about being successful.
Sure does. No question about that.
Especially when you cross over from sport to sport. That's just very interesting.
Votto continuing this at-bat with foul balls, and that one sails way outside. It has been, up to this point, a 77-pitch night for Justin Verlander. Trailing as he is 3-0 because of the first inning home runs by Jesse Winker and Derek Dietrich. Check swing, strike 3 call. Dropped the breaking ball over. And Votto not happy about the call rendered by Adrian Johnson. He drops his helmet disgustedly, followed quickly by the bat. 6 punch out for Verlander at the end of 5. Reds lead by 3 on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network. Join the Reds in celebrating America's pastime in the 4th of July with the Great American Deal. Thanks to Coca-Cola. With this $12 package, you get a ticket to any game July 1st through the 4th, plus a free regular hot dog and 16-ounce fountain drink. Plus, there's fireworks show after the game on July the 3rd. Purchase the Great American Deal now at Reds.com/deal. Jeff Brantley and Tommy Thrall, and our engineer, producer, our mentor, and our spiritual leader, Dave Yeti Armbruster. We're back in the 6th inning. 1 strike to count on Alex Bregman. Now, this is the inning when they are, I would imagine, scrutinizing every move that DeSclafani makes, because this can be a real problem inning for him. He's 1-1 now and having to face the top of the Astros batting order. And not surprisingly, activity is underway in the Reds bullpen before he even threw a pitch. Here's a foul ball back. Right-hander David Hernandez and left-hander Zach Duke.
I think when you have a 3-0 lead against a team like the Astros and you are going through the lineup for the 3rd time, I don't care who you are on the mound, you've got to be prepared. I mean, this team can strike in a hurry at the top of this order.
Swung on and foul back. Well, it certainly looked like he was in deep trouble in the last inning after he gave up a hit and a walk, but then he got a big strikeout against Marisnik. And then, of course, the decision rendered by A.J. Hinch turned out to backfire on him when he allowed Verlander to swing the bat, and he hit into an inning-ending double play. Bregman behind in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Strike 3 call. That's another decision that a batter goes back to the dugout not happy with. It was Votto to end the 5th, and now it is Bregman to begin the 6th. Strikeout number 4 for DeSclafani, and now he'll get Michael Brantley, who is singled and lined to left. He's had 2 good at-bats. Time now for tonight's scoreboard stumper, brought to you by First National Bank. We go beyond banking by putting you first. First Financial Bank member FDIC. The pitch. Strike call. Since 1970. 5. Count them, 5 second basemen have won the MVP award in whichever league they were playing in.
Since what year?
1970. It goes back a way. Almost hitting with that pitch.
All right, I think I got 3 right off the bat.
Right now, I mean.
Joe Morgan.
Bingo.
Altuve.
Bingo again.
Pedroia.
Bingo a 3rd time.
Now I'm in trouble.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you.
How many are there? 5?
Yeah, 5. Line drive that'll find the alley in left center field. Brantley has his 2nd hit of the night.
Hit.
And he's at second base with a double with 1 out here in the 6th inning.
He doesn't even look like he swings hard. Just puts bat head to baseball wherever it's pitched.
Here's Yordan Alvarez with a runner at second and 1 out. Now you've had Morgan, you've had Altuve, and who else you had?
Pedroia.
Well, of the remaining 2, both National League guys, One in baseball's Hall of Fame, and one that, in my estimation, if he's not there now, but in my estimation, he ought to be someday. Strike call.
I'm going to say, I don't think this is right, though. Biggio?
No.
Big trouble here. Hold on. Robinson Cano?
No. Now the stretch and the one-strike pitch. That's a line drive into right, and that's another hit. And that will be for extra bases, and it will score Brantley. And it's a 3-1 ball game. And here go the sixth inning woes for Anthony
David Bell.
And David Bell is at the second step. 3 steps away from reaching field level, and here he comes, and he's on his way to the dugout, and that's going to be all she wrote.
Sandberg.
That's one. You got one left. So Anthony DeSclafani simply can't get through the sixth inning, and that has been a bugaboo for him. He won't give you a lot of innings, and tonight is another example of that. He gives up back-to-back doubles here in the sixth to make it a 3-1 game, and not wasting any time is the skipper, David Bell. So the Reds have made a call to the bullpen. Tri-State 811 partners in safety want you to know what's below. Contact 811 before you dig. We'll be back in a moment.
Protect this 3-1 lead, and he's only got one out and a runner at second base.
And he's facing Yuli Gurriel. David Hernandez is. He, of course, was summoned from the bullpen last night, worked 2/3 of an inning, had a walk and had a strikeout. So Alvarez out at second base, and Gurriel hits it hard to center, and that ball will be caught. Nick Senzel, runner tagging, and comes on to third, and they're 2 away in the inning, and his hand came off the bag for a fraction of a second, but it looked like he got it back down again before the tag was made by Suarez, and now it's close enough for, if nothing else, for David Bell to think about it.
He slid by the bag. He tried to get that hand back there. I tell you what, they might have something here.
Apparently not. David is not going to challenge. Well, yes, he is. Yes, he is. They are going to challenge the out call at third base by,
I think they got him,
Roberto Ortiz, and the Barbasol Close Shave Manager Review brought to you by Barbasol Razors. Here's a no-brainer. Barbasol making razors. Try the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus razor right now.
He just slid by the bag. His right hand was on the ground. He tried to reach back, it looked like, with the left, but I think Suarez had the tag on him. I think everybody else coming off the
Reds
field.
are leaving the field.
It's on the big board.
They
He's
are
out.
convinced that he's out, and he is. How about that? Senzel to Suarez. Alvarez came off the bag for a split second. Suarez kept the tag on him, and the inning is over. After 5.5, it's now 3-1 Reds on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network. Catch your Reds in action June 28th through 30th when they take on the Chicago Cubs, presented by NOCO. Get your tickets right now at reds.com/150. Bottom of the sixth inning. Verlander back to the mound facing Eugenio Suarez, who he's struck out twice already tonight. And a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. And we have finished off the scoreboard stumper. Jeff Kent won the MVP award in the National League while with the Giants 19 years ago. Joe Morgan, Ryan Sandberg, Dustin Pedroia, Jose Altuve, and Jeff Kent. You did a good job.
I wouldn't have thought of Kent. I should have.
He's a guy that I said I think he's not in the Hall of Fame now, and I certainly think that he deserves very serious consideration down the road.
Got some good numbers.
He's got big-time numbers. 1-1 pitch, and that's a strike on the inside. So close the book on DeSclafani. 5 1/3 innings. 6 hits, a run, 4 punch-outs.
You can credit Nick Senzel with getting him out of that inning.
You got that right.
Great throw.
Swing and a miss. And that's all for Suarez. He has now struck out 3 straight times tonight.
All on the same pitch. That hard slider down and away.
Barry Dietrich, a 2-run home run in the first. It was number 18 on the year and his first since he hit the 3 home runs back on the 28th of May.
All right, folks, let's have a little Ask Marty time.
That's me.
This is where we ask the Hall of Famer to give his thoughts on any subject. Baseball, this would definitely qualify as non-baseball.
It is.
Presented by CBTS. Oh, yeah.
Ball 1.
And tonight's question comes from Andy David, 1405. Andy, you got too much time on your hand, buddy.
You sure do, pal.
If given the chance, would you, Marty, ever want to take a spaceship into outer space? And would you want to land and walk on the moon?
Well, the only way I'd ever do that is if Jim Day went with me. Because I know that Jim has an incredible affinity for
space exploration.
Limitless exploration in space.
You gonna let him drive the ship?
And I'd sit in rod shotgun, let him handle it. Swing and a miss. 2-1 to count on Dietrich. But the answer to that question is no and no. Do you?
Not a chance. I don't even want to leave the country. I just like hanging out right here.
I mean, not only do you not want to go in space, you don't want to leave the United States.
I just like where I'm at.
Check swing 3-1. You take some of them snakes with you.
No, I don't want any of that either. None of those two things. No.
That big old huntsman spider.
That was a little rough.
It certainly was rough.
That's a big spider.
I think they found some in Mississippi.
No, they didn't.
Ball 4. Dietrich has walked.
Yeah, I don't like talking about that because then I'm not going to be able to. I already have a hard enough time sleeping.
Do you ever think at night about climbing in bed and all of a sudden you feel something crawling on your feet?
I don't ever think about that. Not ever. Not one time. I don't think about that.
Big one.
No, because I check the sheets before I get in there. So I don't have to worry about it. I bring Orchid in there about every third day to spray that house that the carpet's soaking wet.
Dietrich gets the first walk allowed by Verlander tonight. Now Nick Senzel, who made the great throw to third to get the final out of a double play that ended the top of the inning. And Senzel called timeout just before the pitch was released by Verlander.
And twice tonight that
the umpire gave it to him.
Adrian Johnson has called timeout really late. Not sure Verlander was real happy with that.
I don't think so. You know, we want to extend, we give him a hard time and we joke with him all the time, but we certainly want to congratulate Jim Day for being a very, very vital part of the Reds action auction last night. The figure that we heard was raised that will go to the Reds Community Fund, $177,000. Here's a swing and a high pop-up. Foul territory, first base side. Chasing his cap, and he makes the catch. He had to sidestep the first baseman, Tyler White, and then make the grab and then go about halfway up on the tarp roller and still hung on to the baseball. Nice play by the diminutive Houston second baseman for out number 2.
That's a great play. Not only are you worried about running into the seats, but you're worried about running into that big fella, Tyler White, coming at you.
Now Yasiel Puig, who has popped up and flied out. So, Jim, congratulations on a job well done last night. Big time, big time, big time. Here's a pitch. Inside corner strike.
Folks out there in Reds country stepping up to the plate.
Yes, they did.
Like that.
Reds have had 6 hits. Actually has had 5 hits tonight, while the Astros have had 6 off Reds pitching. all against starter Anthony DeSclafani, who is at the moment the winning pitcher in this game if the bullpen can take care of the Houston offense the rest of the way. Verlander, ball tucked behind his right hip. Sights a sign, pitches, swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Waiting on Puig to get back in the batter's box. Dietrich with a short lead over at first base with 2 away in the inning. And now the pause and now the pitch. And he struck him out swinging, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 left. Jeff's back in the 7th. Reds 3, Astros 1.
The man.
Action is my middle name.
Scott Sloan, tomorrow morning at 9 on 700 WLW.
Top of the 7th, David Hernandez still in the ball game. Big pitch getting Yuli Gurriel on a fly ball to center field, but an even better throw by Nick Senzel as Eugenio Suarez applied the tag. Ended up being a double play after the Reds challenged the call on the field. And now Robinson Chirinos will step to the plate. 3-1 Reds lead this one. Hernandez turns it loose. Breaking ball nails the outside corner. That's a strike. Back to the plate is Hernandez, and this one hooked down the left field line. Just foul. An absolute bullet on a hanging breaking ball, and Chirinos, he barreled it up, but that ball hooked, I mean, within a foot or 2 of the line down the left field line. It almost hit the foul pole, which should be called a fair pole. A long, loud strike for Robinson Chirinos, and now he'll step back into the plate. And Hernandez will go back to work. The right-hander turns it loose, and a looping liner snagged by Suarez. What a leap into the air by the Reds' third baseman. Well, that looked like it had extra bases written all over it, but Suarez goes high into the air and pulls it down. That's about as high as you would see a Eugenio Suarez get up. Caught it right in the top of the webbing for the first out. 1 down for Tyler White. And Hernandez turns it loose, and a high breaking ball catches the top of the strike zone over the inside corner. As Marty mentioned earlier, the Reds with 5 hits on the night, only 2 since the first inning. But at this point, it is a 3-1 Reds lead. This ball down the right field line, heading into the corner. Puig quickly to it. The throw to second base, not in time. And even though that ball rattled around in the corner, Puig still made it an awfully close play at second base. Peraza took the throw. The throw was right on the bag, and they almost got him. That's normally just a Cadillac type hit into second base for a double, and Tyler White had to come in there hot. He had to slide late, otherwise Puig probably gets him. But instead it's a 1-out double, and here's Tony Kemp. Kemp 0 for 1 tonight, flied to right in his first at bat. Walked his second time up, and he slams this one foul down the third baseline. trying to shoot the ball the other way. And the left-hander Amir Garrett begins to throw in the Reds bullpen. Reds trying to win the first 2 ball games of this series against the Astros. Astros came into this series 48-24. Hernandez checks second, turns it loose. Swing and a miss. High fastball up and in, and now Barnhart quickly out to the mound. That might have been one of those times where Barnhart may have thought that Tyler White at second may have been giving his signs as he put him down. You have to be wary about that this day and age. You just never know if a guy is going to take his lead at second, do something different to alert the batter at the plate, whether it's location, whether it's pitch selection. And that's your responsibility behind the plate. You got to mix them up. Slider down and in, almost catches the back foot of Kemp. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. A 1-out double for Tyler White. He stands at second base. Peraza right behind him. Short right field is Derek Dietrich with the left-handed hitting Kemp at the plate. And a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch coming. Hernandez checks second to the plate. And it's popped up down the left field line. It's going to be in the seats and out of play. The Astros made quite a late run in the ball game last night. They scored both of their runs in the 7th inning, and they kept pressure on the Reds the 7th, 8th, and the 9th. Reds had a 3-run lead early last night, made it stand up, trying to do the same again here tonight. 3-1 here in the top of the 7th inning, 1 out. Runner at second for the Astros. Swing and a miss. Slider down and in. Kemp down on strikes. 2 down. And Jake Marisnik will be pulled down. It appears Josh Reddick, who started last night's ball game, will pinch hit. And that may bring Amir Garrett out of the Reds bullpen. He has been throwing. Now Reddick is announced.
Even though that's a tie-in run, would you walk him intentionally and force A.J. Hinch's hand with Verlander coming up?
I think I would bring in Garrett here and face Reddick.
Right.
I think that's what I would do. I think ultimately at this point you're thinking, all right, I'm not going to score again. I got to hold 3-1 lead. So Bell is going to make a double switch. Kyle Farmer will come on. We'll have a new reliever coming out of the bullpen. It appears to be Amir Garrett. We'll be right back here on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network. 2 down here in the top of the 7th. A runner standing at second base. The 1-out double by Tyler White. He is the responsibility of David Hernandez. Pinch hitter Josh Reddick will step to the plate. Garrett will go to work. They play Reddick to pull all the way around to the Reds in the outfield and the infield. Peraza right behind the runner White at second base as he eases off the bag. Pitch to the plate. Breaking ball gets away from Barnhart just momentarily. And White will stay right at second base. 1 ball and no strikes. Reddick started the ball game last night. He did not have a hit. He did reach via walk. 1-0 from Garrett. 1 hopper to Votto. He'll take it himself, and the inning is over. Nice job by Votto at first base. Nice job by Garrett. 3-1 Reds lead. Bottom of the 7th. Coming up. 7, 8, and 9 in the Reds order against Justin Verlander, who is still on the hill for the Astros. Reds leading 3-1 in this one. Swing and a miss on a fastball down and away. Reds, all of their runs came back in the first. Home run by Winker, 2-run home run by Dietrich. And that has been it. After that, Verlander has slammed the door. Verlander now with a long look in. Chirinos running through a ton of signs. And now again Verlander will step back off the back of the mound as Barnhart steps with his right foot out of the batter's box. And Verlander still looking long and hard into the mitt. Now he's got what he needs. He'll turn it loose. And it's tapped foul over towards the Reds dugout. Over the top breaking ball by Verlander. And as Verlander started back to the mound, he turned his back a little sideways to Barnhart, and he was still talking to the catcher Chirinos, almost as though he was giving Chirinos the sign he wanted on the very next pitch. And Verlander starts again and stops. Now Barnhart will take a walk out of the batter's box, reset himself. And now Verlander comes to the dish. The 0-2, and it's hit on the ground, right side. Kemp has it. He'll throw on to first in time. 1 down. Now Jose Peraza will step to the plate. Kyle Farmer in the on-deck circle after he came on in the double switch with the left-hander Garrett coming into the ball game. Pitch to the plate and a high breaking ball misses up and out of the strike zone. 1-0 here to Peraza. A lot of breaking balls and a lot of high fastballs from the right-hander Justin Verlander, and he comes in hard to Peraza, and Peraza fouls it straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Verlander at the 96th pitch mark, and he is due to lead off things in the 8th. And a breaking ball hits the outside corner. Curveball here to Peraza. And Verlander ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Back to the plate. Line drive, right center field, and on the run is Josh Reddick, and he'll make the catch. 2 down. Peraza hit it well, but they were shading him towards right center field, and Reddick able to make the long running catch for the second out here in the 7th. That'll bring Kyle Farmer to the plate. Farmer started at second in last night's ball game. He was hit by a pitch, walked and scored, and then singled. First pitch breaking ball. He couldn't hold up on that one, and it's an 0-1 count. Verlander, the kick, the pitch, and he just misses the outside corner. Hard slider down and away. I think Verlander thought he had the pitch over the plate. He did not. And Verlander still shaking his head on the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike count. the right-hander to the plate. Curveball right at the top of the strike zone, strike 2. I think that is a tough pitch to pull the trigger on if you're a batter at the plate, especially with a guy that throws the ball as hard as Verlander. Because that curveball starts way out of the strike zone and just clips the top edge of the upper part of the zone as this pitch is fouled off to the right side. A fastball down and away, and Farmer just lunged out there in time to foul it off. One ball, 2 strike count. Verlander turns it loose. Slider down and away. And Farmer does not go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You could tell that Verlander is pushing it a little bit here at this point of the ball game. He wants to finish this inning and at least give himself an opportunity to get a win in this ball game. He's probably more intense right now than he has been at any time in the game. He's got 2 outs here in the 7th. The pitch. And it's on the ground, foul down the third baseline. A high breaking ball, and Farmer got enough of it to hook it foul. Count stays at 2-2. Farmer trying to reach for the leadoff hitter, Jesse Winker. The pitch upstairs, and it's full count. And that's the highest velocity pitch that Verlander has thrown here tonight. .96 up, well up above the strike zone. And here's the 3-2. High and deep, and you can kiss that baby goodbye. 4-1 Reds. Home run for Kyle Farmer, and he got all of it. Into the second deck in left field for Farmer. That's got to feel pretty good for the big fella. A breaking ball, and it hung and stayed right in the middle of the plate, and Farmer squared it up. And that was a long far one. Here's Jesse Winker. He had the first of the 3 home runs here tonight for the Reds. And he'll take a fastball right at the top of the strike zone, strike 1. Winker, Dietrich with a 2-run homer, and then that shot by Kyle Farmer. And the Reds leading the Astros 4-1 in this one. Line drive foul down the third base line. Winker hit that one right on the button, just a bit tardy. So for the second start in a row, Verlander, even with all the phenomenal numbers, he has allowed 3 home runs here tonight, and he allowed 3 home runs in his last start against the Brewers, even though he struck out 15 Brewers in that ball game. Reds trying to hang another loss on the Astros here tonight, and they are in an awfully good position. 4-1 here in the bottom of the 7th, and still 1 out to go as Winker waits on the 1-2. And a tapper to the right side, fielded by Bregman. He'll throw on to White. Inning over. Big home run for Kyle Farmer. He's made it a 3-run lead. A shot out of left field. 4-1 Reds. 8th inning coming up. Marty Brennaman coming back here on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
Now we move on to the top of the 8th, and for the second time tonight, the Reds have a 3-run lead thanks to Kyle Farmer's home run, and now we're going to have a hitter for Justin Verlander. It will be Miles Straw. As in, what horse is he? He's a right-hand batter, and he will lead Things off here in the top of the 8th, followed by Alex Bregman and Michael Brantley. Amir Garrett came on to retire pinch hitter Josh Reddick to end the 7th, and the first pitch in for a call strike. Verlander goes 7, allows 4 runs on 6 hits with a walk and 8 strikeouts and 3, count them, 3 home runs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wrap up tomorrow. It'll be a 12:35 game, and it'll feature Tyler Mahle and Garrett Cole. The latter, a fella that the Reds should be more than a little bit familiar with because of his days spent as a Pittsburgh Pirate. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Straw. 281 batter in his playing time. No homers, 3 runs batted in. Garrett jumps ahead in the count as he seeks out the side from Tucker Barnhart, and he readies himself on the mound and lets it fly. And that's just a bit low. 2-2. Garrett ready to go again. And now a 3-2 count. It looks like Raisel Iglesias is warming up in the Reds bullpen. And Garrett has gone 3 balls and 2 strikes on Straw after being ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's ready with a payoff pitch to the right-hand batter, and he walked him. Not a good way to begin a late inning in which you have a 3-run lead. You want to, if they get on base, let them earn it, but don't walk a batter, especially when you were ahead early in the count. And now Alex Bregman, who's bounced to third, fly to left and struck out looking. Straw leading at first base. Garrett eyes him, and now a quick throw that Joey Votto has to dig out of the dirt. And now Garrett will throw that ball out of play and request and get a new one from plate umpire Adrian Johnson.
Well, you've got to believe that Garrett will be in the ball game for the next 3 batters, probably no matter what.
Here's a pitch. It's up and way out of the strike zone. Ball 1.
Bregman's right-handed. Brantley and Alvarez both are left-handed batters.
Well, if you're a guy in that third base dugout, you're thinking we're 1 base runner away from having a tie and run come to the plate. So it would be incumbent upon Amir Garrett to figure out a way to get Bregman out. And there's a call strike, a high strike, and the count's 1 ball, 1 strike. Infield a double play depth. The Reds have turned 2 double plays tonight of the ground ball variety, and then of course got one in the 6th inning on the line out by Gurriel to Senzel in center, and the great throw to third baseman Eugenio Suarez when Alvarez tried to tag at second and advance. So the Reds have had that kind of defense going for them tonight and would love to get one right here. The 1-1, and that's ball 2. Fans at Kroger, it's easy to place your order online and pick up at the store. Try it tomorrow at Kroger.com. 2 balls and 1 strike. The big left-hander lets it go, and that's ball 3. He is pitching himself right now into some deep, deep trouble. And it's not a matter of just missing. He's missing badly. He may force David Bell to make a decision a whole lot earlier than he wants to make it.
Well, the only issue is Iglesias is the only one throwing right now.
A long look by Garrett. He's still looking for something that he wants to throw based on what Tucker Barnhart is showing him. And now he's ready and lets it go. And that's swung on and hammered back into deep left center field. And that ball's out of here. 2-run home run by Alex Bregman. And just like that, it's a 1-run ball game with nobody out here in the 8th inning.
And Derek Johnson will make another trek to the hill.
Amir Garrett gives up number 20 of the year for Bregman. You felt pretty good when Kyle Farmer homered off Verlander in the bottom of the 7th inning, but now they make it a 1-run game, and that Farmer home run right now looms very, very big. But Amir Garrett having a tough time of it. And really, with the back-to-back left-handed batters coming up, as much as maybe David Bell would love to take him out of the game right now, he can't do it. Michael Brantley will be at the plate. So Bregman with 20 home runs, and he has reached the half-century mark in runs batted in. A walk and a 2-run home run. Brantley settling in. And a stretch in the pitch. Swung on and hit into center, and here comes Senzel and can't get it. Ball kicked behind him, backing up on the play and getting it quickly back to the infield. And there's still nobody out.
I did not realize Phillip Ervin is now playing in left field.
He sure is.
And he was there to back that up as Senzel tried to make a sliding catch.
So now it's Yordan Alvarez, who ripped an RBI double into the right field corner in the 6th inning off of Anthony DeSclafani. Well, here come the Astros. Walk, 2-run home run, and a single. And Garrett at the moment not getting anybody out. And he delivers, and that pitch is taken for a strike.
Well, this is what we saw from the Astros last night. They made a serious run late in the ball game. This is the point in time where your bullpen's got to step up.
Yep. Call strike 2. Left-hander against left-hand batter, and very quickly Garrett throws back-to-back bullseyes to the taking Alvarez. And now the high hold and onto the plate. And here's a fly ball hit to right. That ball's going to be caught by Puig on the warning track, and he wields that throw back toward the infield. I mean, they are hitting some bombs right now off of Amir Garrett. Even in making it out, Alvarez lines to deep right. And the batter now will be Yuli Gurriel. And here comes David Bell, and he's going to bring on Raisel Iglesias. So David Bell, 24 hours after having to go to the mound in the 9th inning last night to take Iglesias out and allow Lorenzen to get the final 2 outs in the save situation. Now we'll call on Iglesias for the 2nd night in a row, needing him to get 5 outs. 4-3, Reds lead it. We'll be back in a moment.
Tomorrow morning at 5 on 700 WLW.
If there was indeed a message that David Bell wanted to send to Raisel Iglesias when he took him out 2 outs shy of a save last night, we'll find out momentarily. He is on now with 1 out, 2 runs in, and the potential tie and run over at first. Yuli Gurriel wailing on the first pitch and spinning himself like a corkscrew and came up empty. A double and infield single, and he was the guy who struck the line drive that resulted in the Senzel to Suarez double play at 3rd in the 6th inning. Now the 0-1 pitch after a long pause, and another swing and another miss. It's 0-2.
Much better breaking ball tonight from Iglesias than we saw last night.
Michael Brantley over at first base. It's a 4-3 game. Reds have the lead with 1 out in the 8th. And the strike 2 pitch coming to Gurriel, and that's just off the outside edge. Two guys whose paths may well have crossed in their native Cuba before they came to the United States. Gurriel signed by the Astros, Iglesias with the Reds. And here they are squaring off in a late inning, big time one-on-one confrontation. And the 1-2 pitch on the way, and Gurriel strikes out swinging. Good start for Iglesias. Robinson Chirinos. Western and Southern Financial Group wants to strike out cancer all season long. Every time a Reds pitcher strikes out a batter, Western and Southern will make a donation to the Barrett Cancer Center. As Western and Southern says, when it comes to fighting cancer, we are all in this one together. Chirinos strikeout, ground ball into a double play, and a line drive that Suarez climbed the ladder to pick off as a leadoff batter in the 7th inning. Ball 1, ball gets away from Barnhart, and the tying run is now in scoring position. Very, very inopportune time on a wild pitch that handcuffed Tucker Barnhart. And Brantley now standing at second base. 1 ball and no strikes on right-handed batting Chirinos. Inside 2-0. Inning began when Miles Straw pinch hit for Verlander and walked. Then Amir Garrett fell behind in the count to Bregman. He deposited one into the seats in left center. Then the single by Brantley. Alvarez lined out to deep right. And there's a called strike, and Iglesias comes on to strike out Gurriel on 3 pitches. And now has run the count to 2 balls and 1 strike on Robinson Chirinos. Stretching the pitch. Swing and a miss. Iglesias taking his time on the mound. Visible reason to, or logical reason to pitch hurry up baseball. He's got a 2-2 count on Chirinos, who is a .244 batter with runners in scoring position. Iglesias trying to get the final 8th inning out and maintain the 1-run lead. And a swing and a miss. He does just that on a breaking ball, and the side is retired. Back-to-back punch-outs. Tying run left at second. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-3 Reds on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
Right-hander Chris Davinsky coming out of the Astros bullpen. He takes over for Justin Verlander. 1-0 record for Davinsky in his 24 appearances. 4.55 ERA.
He'll be getting here in the bottom of the 8th. Votto and Suarez in a pink dawn. I would imagine Iglesias will be batting for himself, although they've got Michael Lorenzen warming up in the bullpen. So it's not beyond the realm of probability that they could hit for Iglesias. And then for the second night in a row at the end of the game, relying on Lorenzen. First pitch, a breaking ball in for a call strike. Votto 2 for 3 tonight. A good night. 2 doubles, a run scored. Davinsky working from the windup and got that in for strike 2. You're wondering about the Houston night. Think about Tyler White, Tony Camp. And Josh Reddick. That one bounces up there for a ball. There's no more need to eat out when you can enjoy the ultimate appetizer from home with JTM's new Craft House Creations beer, cheese, and pretzel bites. Find this favorite game day snack in your grocer's freezer. JTM, let's create great dishes together. Almost hit Votto with that pitch. 2-2. Fly ball center field. Reddick tracking it and makes the catch.
All right, let's revisit our Cincinnati Bell trivia question of the game.
There you go.
The Houston franchise began play in 1962 and made its first playoff appearance in 1980. Your question, what year did the franchise win its first playoff series? Was it A, 1981, B, 1997, or C, 2004? Your first answer was 2004. C. Do you want that to be your last answer?
Yeah.
So you're going to stay with it?
Yes, I am. One ball and no strikes.
Let's have a look. You got it. It is C.
Mm-hmm. Have every confidence in the world.
I know you did. I
Swing
didn't. After losing 7 playoff series in its 43 years of existence, Houston finally won a postseason series in 2004, defeating the Braves in the division series 4-1.
Remember it well. Fly ball, hammered, deep left field. Enough? No, it's not. The left fielder Alvarez gets back and makes the catch up against the wall, and they're 2 out in the inning.
Houston lost to St. Louis in 7 games in the 2004 National League Championship Series.
I remember it well. So 2 men up, 2 men down. And Josh Van Meter is coming to the plate to pinch hit for Raisel Iglesias.
That means Lorenzen will be on to try to save his 2nd consecutive game.
That is absolutely correct. Now the pitch. Ball strike. One ball, 1 strike. So close the book on Iglesias, 2/3 of an inning. He struck out 2 and threw a wild pitch. And Michael Lorenzen will be out there indeed in the top of the 9th to face their 6, 7, and 8 batters. Swing and a miss.
Davinsky looks like he's stepping towards the Reds dugout and throwing the ball back towards the plate. It's got to be a funky look to a left-handed batter.
Foul ball back. Reds got it rolling today with 2 home runs off Verlander in the first. Winker a solo leadoff homer. Garrett Dietrich a 2-run home run. They had a 3-0 lead until back-to-back doubles in the 6th by Brantley and by Alvarez to make it a 3-1 game. That's low for a ball, but the Reds got that run back on the home run in the 7th inning by Kyle Farmer. And in the 8th, the Astros pulled it within 1 on a 2-run homer by Alex Bregman. Reds 4, Astros 3 with 2 out in the 9th, or at bottom of the 8th rather. And he hit him with a pitch. So Van Meter hit in the leg. And he will head on down to first base. And that will bring to the plate Nick Senzel with 2 out and the runner aboard. Senzel has struck out twice and has fouled out to the second baseman, Tony Kemp, who made a miraculous catch down beyond the Reds dugout back in the 6th inning. There's a throw on to first, and Van Meter dives back in. Tomorrow, the final game of the homestand. Reds dropped 2 out of 3 against Texas, and they're trying to hang on here to make it back-to-back wins over the Astros with a 12:35 game coming up tomorrow. And the throw to first again. They embark after the game tomorrow on a 6-game road trip. 4 of them will be played in Milwaukee beginning on Thursday night. And then after the Sunday afternoon wind-up in that series at Miller Park, they'll then be flying to Anaheim, where after an off day on Monday, they'll take on the Angels Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Fastball high. Next home after tomorrow will be a week from Friday when they meet the Chicago Cubs right here at GABP. That'll be the 28th of June. 1 ball and no strikes on Senzel. The runner goes. The pitch is taken. The throw by Chirinos, and he got him. Tony Kemp took the throw and applied the tag in one sweeping motion. David Bell tried to steal a run here by stealing a bag at second to set up an RBI base hit, but Chirinos shoots him down, and we go to the 9th inning now. Michael Lorenzen coming on.
Mike McConnell, tomorrow morning beginning at 5 on 700 WLW.
Michael Lorenzen out of the Reds bullpen. He will come on for, yes, the second night in a row to try to save this one here against the Astros. 33rd appearance for Lorenzen, looking for his 4th save on the year.
Yeah, he came on last night after Iglesias walked the leadoff batter, Miles Straw, then got a foul out off the bat of Bregman. At that point, David Bell went out and got Iglesias, bringing on Lorenzen. He promptly got Brantley first pitch hitting on a fly ball to center, and then struck out Yordan Alvarez for the final out. Now it's Tyler White tonight, and the pitch is high, ball 1. He's had 2 doubles and 3 times up tonight. He's had 2 of the 9 hits that the Astros have collected. Lorenzen coming with the 1-0 pitch, and that's fouled out of play.
Interesting for White. The first double was down the left field line. The second double was down the right field line. That should tell you a little something about the kind of hitter he is.
One ball, one strike. 236 batter with a couple of home runs and 11 runs batted in. He starts for the second night in a row at first base when hitless in the opener. And that pitch is a ball, and the count's 2-1. That's close. Two-one pitch. Ball 3. Now this Houston team is a very patient lot. I mean,
this guy is too. He's real patient.
He sure is. They will work the count. They don't have any free swingers on this club to speak of. That one has popped up, however, the 3-1 pitch, and it'll be a routine catch for Joey Votto out in shallow right near the foul line. He makes a play, and that all-important leadoff batter is gone. One down with White back to the dugout, and here is second baseman Tony Kemp. Kemp is fly to right, walked, and struck out. 25,347 show up for tonight's Titanic struggle. 25,347. Ball 1. Josh Reddick loosening up in the on-deck circle. He pinch hit in the 7th for Jake Maresnik and stayed in the game to play center. 2 balls and no strikes. The second base position tomorrow will, in all likelihood, be manned by Jose Altuve They slowly get some of their big people back, and it begins tomorrow, and they're a call strike. Two balls and one strike on Kemp. In on the grass, well in on the grass at third base is Eugenio Suarez. Swing and a miss. Lorenzen watches the changes in defense. Now that Kemp has two strikes on him, they really switch on the infield to this left-handed batter's pull side, leaving Suarez as the lone defender on the left side of the infield. The pitch. And a squibber. And quickly up with the ball is Lorenzen, and the throw is out. He's an athlete, boy. 2 out in the ninth.
Made that look easy.
He sure did. So now the Astros look to Josh Reddick to try and keep him going here in the ninth inning. He pinch hit in the 7th inning, and Joey Votto made a nice play on him and take a low line drive that he played backhand style on the short hop and beat him to the bag. And that pitch is on the outer part of the plate for a call strike. To the belt and to the plate, and it's up and in, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
The best part of the game. Come on, that's a strike.
Here's a ground ball left side. Suarez bends down to get it, unloads in a hurry, out, and this one belongs to the Reds. Cincinnati, for the second night in a row, knocks off the Houston Astros, and for the second night in a row, they do it by a run. Last night, a 3-2 final. Tonight, a 4-3 decision. And we'll be back in just a moment.